The airport was bustling with travelers, each one hurrying to their gates, dragging their luggage, and stealing glances at the departure screens. Among them was Malcolm James, a man in his mid-40s, with a neatly trimmed beard, wearing a tailored navy blue suit. His demeanor was calm, though his piercing brown eyes suggested he was carrying the weight of something much larger than himself. Malcolm wasn't just another passenger. He was a man on a mission. He walked through the terminal with purpose, holding a black leather briefcase that seemed to guard secrets worth millions. Malcolm was the kind of person who didn't need to announce himself. His quiet confidence often spoke louder than words. He was a successful entrepreneur, a self-made billionaire, but more importantly, the owner of one of the largest airline companies in the country, SkyHigh Airways. But today he wasn't traveling for business. He was on a personal mission to uncover a truth that could shake the foundations of his company. A whistleblower had come forward with documents alleging corruption within SkyHigh Airways. Malcolm had spent weeks verifying the claims, and now was on his way to confront the man behind the alleged evidence. As he approached the first-class gate, he slowed down, taking a moment to check his watch. His flight to Chicago was in an hour, and he wanted everything to go smoothly. But little did he know, an unexpected confrontation awaited him. Standing at the gate was a young woman named Rebecca Simmons. Rebecca had been working as a gate agent for nearly 5 years. She was efficient at her job, but often let her biases cloud her judgment. When Malcolm handed her his first-class ticket, she gave him a once-over, her eyes narrowing slightly. "Sir, this line is for first-class passengers only," Rebecca said, her voice laced with suspicion. Malcolm blinked, confused but calm. "I am a first-class passenger," he replied, handing her his ticket again. Rebecca barely glanced at the ticket before shaking her head. "This doesn't seem right. Are you sure this is your ticket?" Malcolm sighed and pulled out his ID, trying to remain patient. "Here's my ID. As you can see, the name matches the ticket." Rebecca hesitated but still didn't let him through. "I'm going to need to verify this," she said, stepping aside to make a call. Passengers behind Malcolm began to murmur, some glancing at him with pity, others with curiosity. Malcolm stood tall, his expression unreadable, but inside he felt a pang of frustration. He had dealt with prejudice before, but it never got easier. After a few minutes, Rebecca returned, still looking unconvinced. "I'm sorry, sir, but I'm going to have to ask you to step aside while we sort this out." Malcolm took a deep breath, his voice steady but firm. "Step aside for what exactly? I've shown you my ticket and ID. What more do you need?" Before Rebecca could respond, a man in his early 30s, dressed in a casual sweater and jeans, walked up to the gate. "What's going on here?" he asked. It was Jonathan Blake, one of the airline's junior executives. Jonathan recognized Malcolm instantly. His face turned pale as he quickly stepped between Malcolm and Rebecca. "Mr. James, I'm so sorry for this misunderstanding," Jonathan stammered, his voice filled with panic. "Rebecca, do you have any idea who this is?" Rebecca looked confused. "He's just a passenger," she replied, her tone defensive. Jonathan turned to her, his expression serious. "He's not just a passenger, he's the owner of this airline." Rebecca's face turned red with embarrassment, her mouth opening and closing as she struggled to find words. I didn't know," she finally managed. Malcolm raised a hand, signaling Jonathan to stop. "It's fine," he said calmly. "Let's not make a scene, I just want to board my flight." But the drama didn't end there. As Malcolm finally boarded the plane and settled into his seat, his thoughts turned to the whistleblower he was about to meet. The documents they had provided painted a damning picture of corruption within the airline, but something about it didn't sit right with him. The evidence was too perfect, too well packaged. Midway through the flight, Malcolm's phone buzzed with a message from his private investigator. The text read, "The whistleblower's evidence is fake. He's working for a rival airline." Malcolm's heart sank. If the evidence was fake, it meant someone was trying to destroy his reputation and the company he had built from the ground up. But why? And who was behind it? As the plane landed in Chicago, Malcolm knew he had to act fast. He arranged a private meeting with the whistleblower, a man named Eric Walters. Eric was an ex-employee who had been fired for misconduct years ago. Malcolm confronted Eric with the new information, and after hours of questioning, the truth finally came out. Eric confessed that he had been paid by a rival airline to fabricate evidence against SkyHigh Airways. The rival airline wanted to tarnish Malcolm's name and force him out of the industry. The revelation hit Malcolm hard, but instead of anger, he felt a deep sense of sadness. He had always believed in running his business with integrity, and to see someone go to such lengths to destroy, that was heartbreaking. As Malcolm left the meeting, he vowed to expose the truth, not just for himself, but for the thousands of employees who depended on SkyHigh Airways. He released a public statement, revealing the plot against him and clearing his name. Back at the airport, Rebecca heard about the incident and felt a wave of guilt. She reached out to Malcolm, apologizing for her actions. Malcolm, ever the gracious leader, accepted her apology and used the incident as a teaching moment for the entire company. The experience left Malcolm stronger and more determined than ever. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to fight for what he believed in: fairness, respect, and the truth. And with that, Malcolm boarded another flight, his mission clearer than ever, leaving behind a story that would forever remind people of the power of perseverance and the importance of treating everyone with dignity.
I hope my partner have shared a good story with you. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.